Vineyard Town.
Ah, close by.
All right, so we're adding another area code to the 876. Well, we're not adding to the 876. We're adding a different one. The Office of Utilities Regulation have introduced an additional area code to the 876, right? Elizabeth Bennett Marsh, Public Education Specialist at the OUR, is here to give us the breakdown of what this means. Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Thanks.
I was saying
nice
that I can remember the 58194.
I don't remember that.
Well, I do, because I am 94. I don't have a problem with that. And then we added 92, so we're now using 7.
That's Kingston.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a country girl. So
outside, you have like 96 in areas and all kinds of stuff. Why are we making this change? Well, it's not a change, it's an addition.
It's an addition, which is an important point to make, Neville, that we're not replacing, but we're adding another area code.
Why?
Remember the days when we had 801 area code for Jamaica and several islands in the Caribbean? You
can't say that I know that.
So we're moving. So demand, in one simple word, demand. When we had 876, we had projected that in another 20 years, it would suffice for another 20 years. But lo and behold, in about 2009, when there was a third mobile provider, there was such a demand for numbers that there were actually about 6-point-something million numbers in circulation compared to the 7.7 that we had for allocation, 7.7 million. So we had to fast-track our projection. We had to fast-track our implementation. It kind of waned a bit because that third mobile provider was subsequently bought by another mobile provider, so it kind of tempered the demand. But nevertheless, we anticipated that because there is still a growing demand, because numbers are not only used for your phone number and my phone number, but for other things as well. And there is a growing demand. And so OUR, which is responsible for numbering administration in Jamaica, has put in place plans to meet those demands.
What other things it is used for?
Emergency numbers, things like that. There are a lot of other numbers that are subsumed by subscribers that are not necessarily used. So, for example, some large businesses have like 1,000 phone numbers.
Okay.
You have the emergency numbers that we assign, like the 200 numbers and the 300 numbers, your 911 numbers. Those are also considered phone numbers.
Okay.
And also the people who have 4 cell phones, like my mother, and them I don't know the numbers pretty much.
It's what we're seeing. It's nothing that's unique. It's unique to Jamaica, but for example, if you go to some states in the U.S., since you're more familiar with the U.S., I'm using that example. If you go to New York, for example, even if it's your neighbor, you have to dial 10 digits because there is 914, I think, and 212, etc.
But no. In Jamaica, if I'm calling Sakina and I put the 876 before it, it goes through.
Because the phone companies have that capability, and that's the phone companies now who are putting plans in place, and to some extent I think they have that capability, but they're still putting more plans in place to meet this new era code.
Okay, so when is it that we are going to have to start the 10-digit dialing
Well,
process?
come May 31 next year, we're going to introduce 10-digit dialing. That's the most immediate impact. Okay. And we have a period of what we call permissive dialing, where for 5 months, effective May 31, even if you dial the 7-digit number, you'll get a recording to say, hey, remember that we're now going 10 digits, but your number will still, your call will still be put through.
Question, miss. If my number with 876 happens to be the same number with someone else, and the 658, it don't even have a ring to it. With the 658, how does the phone company then decide where to direct this phone call?
That's where the error code comes in.
So what happens then when
remember,
you say
come May 30, first thing, remember May 31, you will not have 658 coming in.
Oh, it won't be there yet.
658 will only come in once the current numbers under the 876 error code have
been exhausted. Okay.
But remember, Sakina, you made a very good point. The last 7 digits that we have now, 2222222, those numbers are also going to be duplicated with the new area code. And that's why it's even more important for persons to start getting into the habit of dialing 10 digits, which is 876222222.
So what you're doing until May is just sensitizing us for the next 5 months so that
it
becomes a habit.
Dialing.
Plus the other thing also, even when 658 comes in, we still have 876.
You still.
So if someone asks me for my number, it is still 876. So it will be just the new numbers that would use a 658.
Because the method that we're using, we had two choices, whether the split method or the standard overlay method. Just a bit of technicality, but it's important to understand. Now, the split method would be a geographical assignment. So you live in Mandeville, so we assign a number to you, etc. So we're not going to do that because can you imagine you would have to change up your number and so on. So what we're doing is the standard overlay method, which means that once these numbers are exhausted, which means current users will not be impacted at all, is when
Why do
the
I have
numbers
a
are
feeling
exhausted.
that Jamaican people just go, wow, you want a phone with a 658 number, so I'm going to run again. And that might in itself exhaust the new one, and then we're going to have another one.
Well, they can't request it. They can't request that.
They don't have a choice.
No.
How many years are you thinking that this will last before we go to a third?
25 years.
25
our
years.
projection. But of course, it depends on demands because you know there are now more licenses available for mobile service providers compared to 10, 20 years
So it
ago.
might not last the 25 years.
Who knows? But that's what we do now,
projection.
that we have to make sure that we're on the ball.
Okay, so it's really not an issue for anyone, to be honest, is it?
10-digit dialing is really what we want to get them into come May 31, really.
So if I call, no, I just put 876.
So forth, and so forth.
999-9999.
Yes.
Yeah, get my
Argument
number
done.
for.
An argument done.
Yes.
It's very easy. It
But
doesn't
nothing
sound
happens,
too
you
many
said, until
complications.
May 1.
Until May 31.
And then it might be another little while before you exhaust all these numbers.
We normally project 18 months before we anticipate that the numbers will be exhausted. So you can count 18 months from May 31.
And then after 5 months, you give us that little leeway. After that, no,
You have to dial the
if you
6
don't
one.
dial the 876,
Right.
you're not going to get through.
But we'll continue to educate the public, as well as the telcos, the telecommunications companies. They'll continue to educate the public about what's needed.
You mentioned that there are other licenses, I think.
More license.
Yeah, more. Is there another?
I have no idea, Neville.
No,
That's
you
the
can't tell
purview
us.
of the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology.
Yeah, but you can't tell us.
They're the ones who assign
Yeah, but you can't tell
numbers.
us.
And I know.
She don't know.
not
She
aware
can't
of
pressure the lady.
No, she knows.
There
Pressure
are
the people
quite a
data.
number of licenses that are up for grabs, you know.
No, but don't
But
we
I have
don't
no
we give
idea.
one to someone already? What's the name?
What you asking me about?
What is it? Carousel or
Carousel
something?
is out, right. So we have 3 mobile service
Right.
providers now.
But I don't see them
But
on the
there
market
are-
selling
Maybe they're
and
just not ready
that.
to do anything.
Maybe it's their business plan. Maybe their business plan is
But,
different
so
from
we have
Digicel
3
and
licenses
Cable
given
Wireless, who
already
knows?
now.
Right.
Okay.
Major mobile service provider licenses.
We can't take more though?
Competition.
The government has made room for some more.
Some more.
I tell you, she know it. I know
No,
these things.
that's not a secret, but I don't know that there's any that has been assigned to any provider because that would not be a
Or
secret.
anyone in waiting.
That would be announced, I'm sure, if that was a
It's
decision.
a little exciting, I think, to have the new one. It's just that it don't have a ring to it like 876.
Yeah.
But we work with
658,
Yeah. And this would be like landlines also, right? This is right
landline
across.
and mobile numbers.
Okay. Thanks a lot for coming.
Sounds good.
Yes, thanks.
Public
Okay,
education. Oh,
Wait a minute.
she's not going to tell you.
Oh, yeah.
That is government business.
You see, I just get it
I
out.
don't know. I
was
don't
just
know that
going to
there's
get it out
any. I
and
don't
just
think
jump
there's any. I don't know that there's
Thank
any.
you very much.
You're welcome.
Public
Sophia.
education specialist at the Office of the Utilities Regulation, Elizabeth Bennett Mark.